spread to different areas all across the line of control and international.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at yowon.com.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the U.S.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of. A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA. Join the conversation.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world.
Thanks for staying on with us. These are the breaking developments that we are getting to you right this minute, coming in from Jammu city. Sirens and sounds of explosion being heard in Jammu city and Samba is what we know at this point. In fact, the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has urged people to stay off the streets and ignore unverified information and remain calm at this point. And according to defense sources, there are Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba, Pathankot as well. Srinagar has also been put on alert. That's the latest coming in at this point as we continue to monitor the latest images that we are getting to you as well from on the ground. This is what things have been looking like in Jammu and Kashmir, where sirens and sounds of explosions being heard in Jammu city, also Samba. And people have been asked to stay off the streets and remain calm. Remember, it's also important to highlight how it's necessary to not look at or trust unverified information and ignore any such unverified information. And that's the word coming in from the authorities at this point as well. Also reiterating that there is no need to panic and it's important to remain calm at this point. What we do know through defense sources is that there are Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. Let's go across to Siddhant Sibul, who's been tracking those developments as well. Siddhant, what more can you share with us at this point?
Well, a day of rapid development, and it looks like it could be another night of rapid development, evolving development. We'll first start by telling our viewers to stay calm in the regions of India where the attack is underway. We know that Jammu city is right now witnessing a blackout and sirens are blaring. In fact, the Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, has tweeted a picture of a blackout out in Jammu. There are cities in Punjab bordering bordering Pakistan, like Amritsar, where drones have been also seen. Now, essentially, there is an escalation by the Pakistani side for the third night, it looks like, in a row in a major way. And what we know, earlier today, there was a briefing by the Indian Foreign Secretary where he pointed out that how, in fact, not only the Indian Foreign Secretary, but the women personnel, military personnel, they pointed out the details of the attack yesterday, where approximately 300 to 400 drones attacked India from Leh to Sir Creek in Gujarat and also Rajasthan, Punjab and other areas. Now, essentially, this is an escalation by the Pakistani side. We know that the Indian side also was able to strike in 4 places in Pakistan yesterday night, and we have seen a lot of warmongering commentary coming from Pakistan as well, while the Pakistani military, of course, it looks like set the ball rolling of this conflict with the terror attack that happened in India, in Pahalgam. We know that we saw those visuals of the terrorists, US listed terrorists, along with Pakistani army personnel being part of state funerals for terrorists being organized after India strikes on terror camps in Muridke and Bhavalpur. Now, we know that India, when it struck in the aftermath of the attack of Pahalgam by Pakistani terrorists, India had struck 9 places, including in POK and in Pakistan. But it was a deep strike inside Punjab that really shook the Pakistani leadership. Now, focus, of course, India since then has been saying that it was a measured, it was a very precise strike that was taken, and India said that if there is an escalation, India will be giving a firm response. But all in all, it could be a long night for people in border areas like Jammu, where the attack, it looks like, is underway. We are looking for, we are getting more details, but of course, we know that this is a conflict, and we in WION believe in responsible reporting, and essentially, as and when details come, we will be sharing those details. We also know that the Indian defense sources have just told WION that the drones are being engaged by the Indian side. We know that yesterday the drones which made the strikes were of Turkish origin. This is something that India has officially confirmed, that it was Turkish origin. That shows how Turkey is backing the Pakistani leadership, the Pakistani establishment, who of course are single-handedly responsible for terror strikes in India.
Indeed, important to also remind our viewers, as we were just discussing, it's absolutely essential to remain calm and ignore any unverified information. These are, and also important to highlight how these are the deferred images that have been coming in from the area. Remember, these blackouts in place in Jammu and Kashmir. We are also talking about how India is intercepting the Pakistani drone fire. We do know at this point that sirens and sounds of explosion has been heard in Jammu city. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister also urging people to stay off the streets, but also not panic and remain calm. This, of course, looks like the beginning of a repeat of what we witnessed just 24 hours ago, where Pakistan unleashed that round of aggression. Let's go across to Idris Lone as well, who's been getting us a better sense of what things have been looking like on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir. Idris, go ahead. What more can you tell us at this point?
Well, Molly, multiple blasts have been heard in Jammu city. There's an alert that has been sounded all across Jammu, Samba, as well as in Pathankot. There's a complete blackout that people have been asked to observe because there have been drone sightings that have been confirmed by the Indian Defence Forces, and they're being engaged at the moment, which means that the air defence system is in place, and none of the drones have basically caused any kind of damage. They are being neutralized, they are being thwarted, the attack is being thwarted in the air only. But the blast sounds is creating a lot of panic among the people, because it's exactly like yesterday when people were in Jammu city at that point of time. It was very surprising, but today people were a little prepared go into their houses before it was dark, especially in cities like Jammu as well as in Srinagar. Now what we're hearing is in Srinagar also there has been alerts all across the city, and especially in Baramulla, Kupwara, Bandipora, which are the areas very close to the line of control. While there is an attack of the drones in 3 parts of Jammu, in Samba, in Jammu city as well as in Pathankot, there is also ceasefire violation that has been done by the Pakistani army exactly on the same pattern as yesterday at multiple places across Jammu division as well as the Kashmir region also. From northern part of Kashmir in Kupwara as well as in Baramulla and Uri, there has been heavy artillery that is being used by the Pakistan army, not only to attack the Indian Armed Forces and their installations, but also the civilian houses. Most of the people in these areas were shifted during the day today by the authorities, state administration. They were asked to move out of their houses. Some of the people were still living in the bunkers, but they were also asked and advised not to stay in those bunkers and get out of these places and have been moved to the safer places. While as in the Jammu division also the similar thing was done. We saw Chief Minister Omar Abdullah moving from Srinagar to Jammu today, where he met with the injured people from the Poonch sector who had been injured in the ceasefire violation, where around 60 people were injured in the attack from the Pakistani side when at the Poonch sector. Let me tell you that 16 people were also killed. Civilians were also killed, which included women and children in the Poonch sector due to these ceasefire violations in the last 2 days. So at the moment, exactly the same pattern as yesterday's, where Pakistan Army resorted to ceasefire violations at multiple locations across line of control and international border. And with that, along with that, we're seeing that drones being pushed yet again across various areas in the Jammu division, whether it's Jammu city, Samba and Pathankot, but all of them being intercepted, all of them being engaged as well as neutralized. So far, there has been no report of any damage. While we also saw Chief Minister Omar Abdullah making an appeal to people to stay calm and stay off the streets and stay at their homes. That was the message that was sent by the Jammu police yesterday also, to observe blackout and also be inside your houses, and there is no need to panic. Security forces are dealing with these drone attacks, and there is no need to panic, and people should stay inside. They'd also said to observe complete blackout, especially in these areas where these drones have been seen. People have been advised not to put on the lights and not use even inverters or small lights in the areas. So complete blackout. Now we are also seeing some of the areas in Srinagar also starting to observe the blackout as well. Yesterday we saw for at least 4 to 5 hours the blackout continued. The attack was for an hour. So it seems like today is also going to be a long night, because especially for the people who live close to the line of control where these attacks are taking place.
Right, stay with us, Idris, and stay safe. These are the continuous sounds and the loud bangs that are being heard. This is what things have been looking like on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir as Pakistan unleashes aggression yet again. A second consecutive night Remember, just 24 hours ago, around the same time, is when Pakistan unleashed that aggression. And this time, we are getting in the latest details that have been coming in of sirens and sounds of explosions being heard in Jammu city. Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba, Pathankot. Srinagar has been put on alert, and we also know at this point that civilian flight operations will remain suspended at Srinagar airport till midnight of May 15. Let's also just apprise our viewers of the statement, the appeal that was put out by Omar Abdullah just a short while back. I'm quoting from it. It's my earnest appeal to everyone in and around Jammu. Please stay off the streets, stay at home or at the nearest place you can comfortably stay at for the next few hours. Ignore rumors, don't spread unsubstantiated or unverified stories, and we will get through this together. That's the message coming in from Omar Abdullah. Drones have been sighted in Jammu, Samba, Pathankot, and they are being engaged as Srinagar remains on alert. This is what the situation is looking like. We also know of the blackout in Pathankot and Anandpur Sahib, Punjab. In fact, the blackout in Samba area as well, a complete blackout there. Let's also remind our viewers and reiterate that there is no need to panic. It's important to stay calm at this point, and that's the word coming in from the authorities on the ground as well. Let's go back across now to Idris Lone, who has been giving us a sense of what things are looking like on the second consecutive night of Pakistan unleashing this kind of aggression. Idris, if we just talk about what things have looked like on the ground in the last 24 hours and what people have had to go through, and that nightmare continues.
Well, absolutely, Molly. It's definitely going to be a long night and a very difficult one, because we did see what people went through yesterday all across Jammu and Kashmir and other states of India as well, which basically have the border with the Pakistan. If we talk about Srinagar, Molly, right now there is a complete blackout that is being observed in Srinagar and other parts of North Kashmir now. There are sirens that have been alerted all across Srinagar city as well, and people have been advised to stay indoors. While as there have been multiple blasts that have been heard in Jammu city, in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot, the defense forces are saying that they are engaging the drone attacks that are coming from Pakistan. All of them have been neutralized, thwarted at the moment. There has been no damage at all, but the blast sounds can be continuously heard in the skies all across Jammu division, especially in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. On the other hand, people have been advised, the Chief Minister as well as the Jammu and Kashmir Police and other security agencies have advised people to observe complete blackout all across the cities which are coming under attacks from the Pakistan Army. They've been told not to venture out, stay indoors, and also keep the lights off, not use any inverters, not use any lights, and preferably all the people should be staying in the ground floors of their houses and not on the top floors of the buildings or the houses. On the other hand, we did see that Pakistan also engaging at the same time in ceasefire violations. There have been multiple ceasefire violations coming from across the border at different locations, not at one location, but multiple locations in northern part of Kashmir, as well as in the Jammu division. We've seen in Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri sector, Kralpura, Tangdar, Karna. We've also seen in Jammu's region, it has been Poonch, Naushera, Rajouri, Samba, Aknoor, where not only small arms firing is going on, but heavy artillery is being used by the Pakistan exactly the same way as they were doing yesterday. They were engaging Indian security forces in these ceasefire violations at multiple locations, and that was the exact time when they also launched these drones in the sky to attack Jammu city. And today it's not only Jammu city, but it's Samba as well as Pathankot where they are shooting these drones too. On the other hand, we've seen that there was an infiltration bid also which was foiled by the border security forces on the international border, where 7 terrorists were killed by the border security forces who were trying to infiltrate. And that was also the time when Pakistan Army was breaking the ceasefire, giving a cover fire to those terrorists who were trying to infiltrate into Kashmir territory. So multiple engagements by the Pakistan Army, and definitely wanting to escalate the situation across the line of control and international border. But security on high alert across Jammu and Kashmir. Alert has been sounded. Now Srinagar also under blackout, and different parts of North Kashmir also have been advised to observe blackout and stay indoors. People have been asked not to, basically there is a lot of rumor mongering also happening all around, or especially on the social media. People have been asked not to panic and stay indoors, stay calm. And that's what we're observing in Srinagar right now as well. There's complete silence, pitch dark all around, especially in the areas around the Srinagar airport. And in Jammu right now, multiple blasts being heard in the skies. Seems like the air defense system is working fine. All the drones which are coming from across the border are being intercepted and neutralized, while as people stay indoors and the blackout continues.
Indeed. We're leaving it there for the moment, Idris. Stay safe, and thanks very much for getting us a better sense of what things have looked like on the ground. On your screen also is the statement that's been put out by Omar Abdullah, a very important message coming in about ignoring rumors and staying calm. And we will continue to keep a close eye on the latest coming in. We just told you about the situation on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir and different parts of the country. More escalatory moves coming in from Pakistan. Pakistan may have started it, but India is now prepared to end it on its own terms. On the night of May 8, between 8 p.m. and 11:30 p.m., Pakistan launched a fresh round of aggression. The Pakistan Army fired hundreds of drones at Indian cities, military bases along the Western Front. Not just that, the terror state fired high-caliber weapons across the line of control, deploying 300 to 400 drones, in fact. What were the targets? Civilian infrastructure across Gujarat, Punjab, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, along with strategic military infrastructure. But India's response was swift and decisive. Every single drone that was launched by Pakistan was intercepted or neutralized by India's advanced air defense systems. The night sky was lit up with explosions as Pakistani drones were taken down. Air raid sirens blared across different parts. Blackouts were enforced as a precautionary move. India did not waver, and the Indian air defense grid held absolutely firm. According to the Indian Armed Forces, Pakistan's objective was twofold. It wanted to test India's air defense capabilities and gather intelligence on strategic sites.
इतने बड़े पैमाने पर हवाई घुसपैठों का संभावित उद्देश्य वायु रक्षा प्रणालियों का परीक्षण करना और खुफिया जानकारी इकट्ठा करना था। ड्रोन के मलबे की फोरेंसिक जांच की जा रही है। प्रारंभिक रिपोर्ट्स से पता चलता है कि वे तुर्की के असीस गार्ड सोंगर ड्रोन्स हैं।
The Indian Army also confirmed major violation of the ceasefire by Pakistan at the line of control. So not only did Pakistan deploy drones, but also continued arms and artillery fire. But India's response was calibrated and powerful. India also inflicted heavy damage on Pakistani military positions. Air defense radars were jammed and multiple systems on their side were rendered useless.
Did not close its civil airspace despite it launching a failed unprovoked drone and missile attack on 7th May at 8:30 hours in the evening. Pakistan is using civil airliners as a shield, knowing fully well that its attack on India would elicit a swift air defense response.
The debris, in fact, that came in from the downed drones. In fact, the debris from the downed Pakistani drones is being examined, including the wreckage recovered in Amritsar. And this will form part of India's growing dossier linking Pakistan's deep state to cross-border terror. These drone attacks started just hours after Operation Sindoor, India's precision strikes that destroyed 9 terror headquarters in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Importantly, Operation Sindoor did not target Pakistani military installations. It was a measured and focused retaliation. But Pakistan's response was reckless and escalatory. At the ground level, infiltration attempts continued. India's border security force foiled a major infiltration attempt in the Samba sector. But even as India battled Pakistan's nefarious designs on land and in the air, another war was underway online. A coordinated misinformation campaign by Pakistan that claimed India targeted places of worship, including the sacred Nankana Sahib Gurdwara. But India flatly denied these lies. In fact, India's Foreign Secretary has called it a desperate bid by Pakistan to incite communal tensions.
We have seen the Pakistani side targeting and shelling places of worship with a particular design. This includes gurdwaras, these convents and temples. This is a new low even for Pakistan. In addition, that we would attack our own cities is the kind of deranged fantasy that only the Pakistani state can come up with. Pakistan is again trying desperately to impart a communal hue to the situation with an intention to create discord. Again, we are not surprised. India's steadfast unity in itself is a challenge to Pakistan. Let me stop there. I have
India's skies are secure. Its airspace is under full control and Pakistan's lies stand exposed. India remains united and that unity may be Pakistan's greatest defeat. When innocent blood was shed in Pahalgam, India's response was swift. But few understand the shadowy hand that was stoking the flames across the border. That hand belongs to General Munir, Pakistan's army chief. A man whose rise is steeped in religious zeal, personal vendetta, and a dangerous brand of Islamist nationalism. You see, Munir is not just another uniformed strongman. He is the architect of Pakistan's latest surge in hostility. The jihadi general who wears his ideology on his sleeve and wields it as a weapon. Munir's story is one of ambition, calculation, and cold fury. Imran Khan once cleared his appointment as the head of notorious Pakistani spy agency, the Inter-Services Intelligence, the ISI. But then the Pakistan Prime Minister sacked him 9 months later after learning of Munir's ambitious agenda. Pakistan has been under direct military rule for approximately 32 years. In the 75 years of its existence. For every Pakistan Prime Minister, there is always a clear and present danger of a coup by the military. Munir never forgot the humiliation. When the army orchestrated Khan's downfall in 2022, Munir's ascent was unstoppable. And within months, he had his former boss jailed, proving that crossing him comes at a steep price. But Munir's real power lies not in political intrigue, but in his ability to fuse faith and force. Raised in a deeply religious family, he studied in Rawalpindi's madrasas. Munir is the first Pakistani army chief since Ziaul Haq to openly invoke Islamist nationalism as state policy. He peppers his speeches with Quranic verses, recites prayers in public, casts himself as the savior of Pakistan's Islamic identity. His rhetoric on Kashmir is incendiary, invoking the two-nation theory and promising eternal struggle, a signal to every jihadi proxy that the old playbook is back. Munir's fingerprints are all over the current escalation. His provocative speeches before the Pahalgam massacre set the tone. Under his command, the army has doubled down on pushing terrorists across the border into India. Under his command, a rattled Pakistani army is unleashing heavy artillery on Indian civilians along the line of control. Munir's rise is a warning. He is not a leader. He is a tactician who says India is not a neighbor but an existential enemy. And the reason is his personal ambitions to keep fueling trouble, keep portraying India as an enemy, and in the process, try and grab more power, even at the cost of the destruction of his own country. Under his command, Pakistan's military doctrine is once again shaped by jihad. It is not the sign of a professional military. The world should take note. Asim Munir is not just fueling tensions, he is building a fire that could consume Pakistan itself. And I earlier spoke to India's former Northern Army commander, Lieutenant General D.S. Hooda. What is his assessment of the current situation and what can be expected from Pakistan now? This is what he had to say.
So look, last night we've seen an attack by drones from Pakistan, and the official statement that has been given out by the government is that these attacks have taken place, or the attempted attacks have taken place at more than 30 locations, more than 400 drones have been used. My own sense, frankly, is this is more like a probing kind of an operation, because they've carried out this at multiple locations. There is an attempt to look at what our air defense network looks like. Are there any vulnerabilities, weaknesses, along the border? And I think we haven't seen the last of it, frankly. So you should and could expect, more actions coming from the Pakistan military side. So that's my assessment as of this moment. I think they will want to show their own people the fact that they've been struck in the very heartland of Punjab. I would feel that the Pakistan military would be under enormous pressure to show that, yes, we can also retaliate, we can also do something against India. My own sense, and I could well be wrong, is that it would still be limited, more sort of demonstrative, to show their own local population that, look, the Pakistan army still remains the defenders of Pakistan's not only territorial sovereignty, but also Pakistan's ideology and faith. And therefore, we have responded to, this big neighbor, India, which they keep saying is, sort of an existential threat. So I think they will do something. And they will also be mindful that an escalation doesn't suit them. Considering the sort of political, economic, and internal security situation that they are in. So my guess is, they would try and limit it, but certainly I would expect a demonstrative kind of strike from Pakistan side.
And in a master stroke of military strategy, India effectively neutralized Lahore's air defense systems, leaving Pakistan's eastern front vulnerable. This decisive action followed Pakistan's failed attempts to target Indian forward positions using drones and missiles, which were swiftly intercepted by India's advanced air defense systems, including the Akash Tir. Our next story takes a closer look at how India fooled and destroyed Pakistan's Chinese-made advanced radar system.
In a single masterful stroke, India rendered Lahore defenseless, rewriting the rules of air warfare on the subcontinent. It began with Pakistan's brazen attempt to strike Indian forward positions. In the dead of night, waves of missiles and drones targeted bases from Avantipura and Srinagar to Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Ludhiana and Bhuj. India's air defense grid was ready as projectiles flew from Pakistan. India's integrated counter-UAS systems roared to life. Every incoming threat was intercepted, neutralized and reduced to harmless debris scattered across Indian soil. Pakistan's gambit failed spectacularly. Its missiles and drones turned into duds.
Has weapons of ranges which superimpose one upon another, making it a large firearm. At the terminal end are our two heroic guns, which are L-70 and Zu-23. Though they fire just small ranges, but imagine Zu-23 gun spews out 1,600 rounds per minute in just two with the twin barrel. L-70 fires just 300 rounds per minute, but most effective.
Then came India's answer. Swift, calculated and devastating. India initiated what is known as SEED, or suppression of enemy air defense in military parlance. SEED is the art of neutralizing enemy air defense networks, radars, missile batteries and command nodes. This ensures friendly aircraft can operate with impunity. It's not just about brute force. It's about deception, timing and surgical strikes. Experts suggest that Indian forces may have used drones as decoys, baiting Pakistan's Chinese-made HQ-9P long-range air defense system into revealing its position. The moment the HT-233 radar air, which is a critical node in Lahore's multi-layered shield, lit up, it was targeted with precision-guided munitions. In seconds, the backbone of Lahore's air defense was destroyed. The destruction of the HQ-9P's radar means that Pakistan's entire northern airspace now lies exposed. The second largest city in Pakistan is now vulnerable to further strikes.
So we have replied tit for tat. They did a failed attempt to destroy our air assets on ground and suppress our air defenses. It actually took out a very, very important multi-layered component of air defense, which is their HQ-9B surface-to-air missile system.
And this is the colossal loss for Pakistan. The HQ-9P, supplied by China, was touted as a game-changer system designed to deny Indian jets access to Pakistani skies. Its destruction not only shatters that myth, but also strips Pakistan of its confidence and deterrence without its radar eyes. Lahore is blind. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
India is reinforcing its defense shield after Sukhoi Su-30 MKI fighter jets, the S-400 missile system, a fresh batch of Russian origin Igla-S missiles. Recently, the Indian Army has received new supplies of very short-range air defense systems as part of a rupees 260 crore contract signed under emergency procurement powers to manage rising threats on the border regions. What exactly are these missiles all about, though? And how can they be game-changing as far as India's aerial combat is concerned? For starters, the Igla-S is a portable, shoulder-launched, surface-to-air missile system designed to bring down low-flying enemy aircraft, drones, helicopters with precision, also known as man-pads. The missiles are compact in form and are ideal for mobile ground units in high-threat zones, capable of engaging targets of up to 6 kilometers away and at altitudes of up to 3.5 kilometers, and are expected to operate in mountainous regions and in extreme terrain. The Igla-S missiles are technologically superior, using infrared sensors to detect heat emitted from the target's engine, to sense any kind of movement and zero in on it, much like the ones used in surveillance systems. Its advanced variant is far bolder, offering better resistance and an improved precision. And this is crucial, especially at a time when new systems are being deployed in formations along the western border to meet the evolving dynamic air threat post rising security concerns following the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. While India, on its part, has been trying to develop and fast-track its own version of new generation very short-range air defense systems, they have been met with production challenges. Till that turns into a reality, missiles like the Igla-S can prove to be instrumental in India's countermeasures against enemy threats as well as in securing its airspace. Given the pressing need for portable, responsive air defense, now more than ever. In fact, India has an array of options when it comes to air defense, giving it an edge to thwart any kind of major aerial threats, be it the Akash or the S-400 missile system. They play a distinct and crucial role in neutralizing any kind of threats or attacks. Let's just start off with the Akash system. This indigenous, medium-range, surface-to-air missile platform forms the backbone of India's air defense systems and proved to be pivotal in intercepting and destroying Pakistan's drones and missiles, foiling Pakistan's bid to target Indian forward positions. Underscoring its role as a formidable shield for India's skies, the Akash system is designed to engage multiple targets at once and can counter both drones and fighter jets with precision. The system integrates data from radars and sensors across the Army Air Defense and Indian Air Force. What makes Akash stand out is its automation. It eliminates manual data entry, allowing frontline units to respond instantly. By decentralizing its functioning, it empowers units near the border to take immediate action while maintaining central control to prevent friendly fire. This system ensures India's airspace remains tightly guarded, even in the toughest battlefield conditions. And moving on to the S-400, codenamed Sudarshan by the Indian forces. Sudarshan. This long-range air defense system, in fact, developed by Russia, is among the most advanced air defense systems globally. It has a radar range of 600 kilometers and can engage stealth aircraft, drones, cruise missiles, even ballistic missiles at speeds up to nearly 5,000 kilometers per hour with a rapid 5-minute deployment time. It is equipped with launchers, radars, command centers and can fire more than 250 missiles. Together, these systems provide a precise and layered defense, reinforcing India's air superiority and sending an unmistakable message. India's skies are well protected and any threat will meet a swift, decisive response. In fact, India has taken a major step towards strengthening its maritime defense. Amid the ongoing tensions with Pakistan, the Indian Navy has inducted its newest asset, INS Arnala, the first of the 8 anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft, indigenously designed and built by Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers in Kolkata. The warship has been formally handed over to the Indian Navy at a shipyard in Tamil Nadu. It is no ordinary warship. At 77 meters long, it stands as the largest Indian naval warship propelled by a diesel engine water jet combination named after the historic Arnala Fort located in Maharashtra. The warship has advanced capabilities for anti-submarine warfare and can also lay advanced mines to deter and disable enemy submarines. It is suited for underwater surveillance, search and rescue missions, low-intensity maritime operations. With over 80% indigenous content, the warship upholds India's Atmanirbhar Bharat vision, further underscoring India's push for self-reliance in defense. Its induction also coming as part of a broader strategy to bolster naval strength. In fact, earlier this week, the Indian Navy successfully carried out combat firing of the indigenously designed and developed multi-influence ground mine. This is an advanced underwater naval mine designed to enhance the Indian Navy's capabilities against modern stealth ships and submarines. And days after the Pahalgam terror attack, the Indian Navy successfully test-fired a medium-range surface-to-air missile from INS Surat in the Arabian Sea. India, remember, also has finalized a deal to buy 26 marine variants of the Rafale fighter jets from France. So with the INS Arnala now in the fold, the Indian Navy has enhanced its capabilities to safeguard its waters and neutralize underwater threats, making it clear to its adversaries that it is ready, absolutely, to meet any challenges head-on. Decades of repeated India-Pakistan conflicts. Every time Pakistan has dared to provoke India, and India has answered with the weapon of its era, delivering a lesson that echoes through history. In fact, our special report now on decisive weapons of choice. How from 1965 to the present day, the Indian Armed Forces punished Pakistan's aggression.
When India chooses to punish, it punishes with precision. Not once, not twice, but every time provoked. India has answered with the weapon of its choice. The response has been swift, brutal, and unforgettable. From thundering tanks to roaring fighter jets, from devastating naval strikes to pinpoint aerial attacks, New Delhi has left no room for ambiguity. The message to Pakistan has been loud and clear. Cross the line and you will be crushed with overwhelming force. Pakistan tried to test India's resolve in 1965. It was met with the steel thunder of Indian tanks charging across the plains of Punjab. The Battle of Khemkaran remains etched in history as one of the fiercest tank battles the world has seen. Over 100 Pakistani tanks were left burning. The next lesson was delivered by sea. In 1971, when Pakistan launched Operation Genghis Khan, India responded with Operation Trident and Operation Python. The INS Rajput sent the Pakistani submarine PNS Ghazi to the ocean floor near Visakhapatnam. In Karachi, flames lit up the night sky as Indian missile boats obliterated Pakistan's fuel reserves and naval installations. Karachi port burned for days. India's naval fury was unleashed. In Kargil, as Pakistani intruders occupied icy peaks, India called upon its Bofors guns. With relentless fire, India hammered enemy positions at high altitudes, flattering bunkers and forcing a humiliating retreat. The artillery barrage became a symbol of India's indomitable will. Pulwama was the trigger. India's Mirage 2000 and Sukhoi screamed across the LOC and dropped deadly Spice 2000 bombs on terror camps in Balakot. A day later, in a high-stakes dogfight, India downed a Pakistani F-16. Once again, the Indian Air Force had made its mark, swift, surgical and exact. Today, India's precision weapons have evolved. It used Storm Shadow missiles and AASM hammer bombs in Operation Sindoor, launched after the Pahalgam terror attack to punish Pakistan. Indian fighter jets didn't cross borders but struck from afar with pinpoint accuracy. Terror headquarters across POK and Pakistan turned to rubble. No civilian casualties, no military targets, just surgical vengeance. Masood Azhar fled. Hafiz Saeed is in hiding. India's precision war machine has spoken. Tanks, ships, guns, jets, and now high-tech missiles. Each has carried India's message across the border. The arsenal evolves, but the resolve is unchanging. Those who attack India will face the full decisive power of its chosen weapon. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
India is taking a giant leap in space-based surveillance, and the implications of this could be profound. Over the next 5 years, India plans to launch 52 spy satellites, significantly enhancing its surveillance capabilities from space. And this initiative was with backing from the private sector, marking a major pivot in how India secures its borders and strengthens national defense, especially at a time when the Indo-Pak tensions are at an all-time high. The chairman of the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center has said that the upcoming 52 satellites will bolster the defense sector's reach and precision, providing key surveillance over critical regions. Now, these satellites will not merely orbit the Earth. They will empower the Indian Army, Navy, Air Force with enhanced tools to track enemy movements, monitor vast border stretches, missile launches, and also coordinate in real time during military operations. This kind of situational awareness could potentially help transform India's defense from reactive to proactive, allowing India to stay steps ahead of potential threats, such as the efficiency of spy satellites, that it can even pinpoint small objects on the ground. A capability that has reportedly proven crucial in modern warfare, such as the Russia-Ukraine war, for example. Traditionally, ISRO is responsible for launching any kind of satellites, but in a strategic shift, India now plans to involve private firms and use a combined public-private effort to enhance its defense capabilities. ISRO is also working towards transferring critical technology to the private sector, such as the Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, or SSLV. SSLV helps to launch small satellites into low Earth orbit at short notice, thereby enabling rapid deployment, something which is extremely important in modern warfare. So, by expanding its satellite network, India is not only safeguarding its own sovereignty, but also sending out a clear message. No adversary can act without detection. A denser web of satellites ensures persistent monitoring, allowing India to keep high-risk areas under constant scrutiny. India is making it clear that its eyes in the sky are opening wider, sharper, and stronger than ever before. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas tonight. I'm Molly Gambhir signing off. Thanks very much for watching.
Watch me on Token Money Magnet, where I decode tokenization for you only on WION.
WION, India's global voice. The channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
Imagine a world where owning your dream asset is just a click away, where wealth is no longer exclusive to the few. Tokenization, the game changer, transforming assets into digital opportunities. A revolutionary technology opening doors to a new era of investment. Don't miss Token Money Magnet, a bold initiative by Kalp Foundation. Only on WION, World is One. To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION, World is One.
Unlocking the future of finance.
Dive into the world of tokenization with me
as we yield the power of tokenization.
Discover the future of
ownership, where I decode, demystify tokenization for you.
Empowering the tokenized revolution.
Get ready to dive for an in-depth look at tokenization.
Busting the myths around tokenization.
Catch me on Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet only on WION.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as Pakistan.
It was directed towards non-civilian, non-military targets and confined to terrorist camps.
Welcome back to our continuous coverage of what is unfolding at this moment between India and Pakistan. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start by taking a quick look as to what is making headlines at this hour. Now, Pakistan violates ceasefire at Udhampur, Firozpur, Akhnur along the line of control. Explosions have been heard in the Samba sector, and Jammu as India's air defense systems continue to intercept the Pakistani drones amidst yet another night of blackout. The Indian Prime Minister meets with the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the NSA Ajit Doval, CDS General Anil Chauhan and the three service chiefs, and reviews the continuous violation of ceasefire by the Pakistanis in sectors along the border and the line of control. The Pakistani Defence Minister Khwaja Asif says in an interview to a Pakistani news channel that there is no option left for Pakistan other than a full-blown war with India, and stresses that there should be no doubt whatsoever about this. Now, Pakistan has attempted to use civil airlines as possible civilian shields and did not shut down their civil airspace between Karachi and Lahore, even in the midst of the failed drone attack against India. And India abstains from the IMF vote on Pakistan's loan program, citing terrorism concerns. India points out that rewarding continued sponsorship of cross-border terror sends very dangerous message to the global community. and makes a mockery of the global values. The Russian President Vladimir Putin interacts with senior North Korean military personnel after the Victory Day parade in Moscow and extends good wishes to the North Korean fighters. In a message aimed at evangelical Christians, the new Pope Leo XIV uses his first homily to warn against reducing Jesus to a kind of charismatic leader or Superman. All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. Pakistan, for yet another night, has resorted to a similar kind of attack that it staged last night. Just about an hour ago, there have been sounds of explosions that have been heard in several districts across the Jammu and Kashmir along the line of control. The Jammu city, Akhnur and Rajouri have all reported shelling and intrusion of Pakistani drones.